Hello, everybody. This is GWS here, and it's time for yet more secular bullshit. This is just sad. Um, this is the saddest thing ever, and I can't even believe that I even heard this because here's the thing. This is the thing that irks me to no end about the left wing. I have a lot of things against the right wing. I am not a right winger. I have a lot of things about the left wing. I'm not a left winger either. But there's one thing about the left that ensures that I'm done with them. And that is just this utter disregard for other cultures, other people. And it's just, there's no regard for others. And this brings me to this. This is Billy Graham's death, and this is Secular Talk's take on it. Um, Now this is what Trump said. So
Ted,
don't listen
you're
to the
going to like this.
thing, but
He will
just
be missed by Christians and all religions. A very special man.
yeah, just listen to
So,
the mocking
what's this
way
idea?
Kyle
Well,
commentates over it.
Counterpunch had an interesting piece
And see, even Obama is like,
I don't know why. Vietnam,
you know,
okay?
even establishment people, and this is unique to Bernie Bros. This problem that I'm discussing here, and I'm sure most of you know where I'm going with this, but even people like Obama, Hillary Clinton, and all this understand there's people with different takes on things. You may not be a religious person, you may be an atheist, but you have to understand there are religious people who listen to these people. And not to mention the friends and family of these people, um, of Billy Graham. I don't even think I'm going to play any of this because the the thing that he's pretty much citing here, he goes on about like comparing Billy Graham to Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger is a war criminal. We know this. There's a lot of war criminals that we've had. We know this. But is this all you got? Somebody said in the 1960s or 1970s to bomb Vietnam or nuke Vietnam or whatever he said. I don't even know what he said. And that's what you got. That's what you got. That's your major contribution to this discussion about Billy Graham. People are talking about how this guy's influenced lives. And I don't know, I'd never listened to Billy Graham. I don't have a dog in this fight. But there's a lot of people who did. And this is what the Bernie wing, you guys have to understand this. There are people who think differently than you. Most people. That's why Bernie lost. Most people do not agree with you. Not only did Bernie Sanders lose, he lost by a significant margin. And Billy Graham's audience? A lot of minorities. Listen to people like that. And guess what? Guess who Bernie Sanders loses with? Minorities. You want to know why Bernie Sanders lost that primary in 2016? Why he got blown out? Look at where he lost. people want to talk about open primaries versus closed primaries. No, I got a correlation for you that's better. Minority population by state. Where did Bernie lose? He lost in California, he lost in New York, he lost in the South. Where did he win? He won in the heartland, upstate New York. He won in basically white states is where Bernie won. White states. Iowa, he won in white states. And what do the South, California, and New York have in common? A lot of minorities. A lot. Huge percentages. Like, I believe South Carolina's like 40% black or something. Alabama's like 25. Georgia, Mississippi, lots and lots of minorities. Mississippi has a huge percentage. They might even be higher than everybody else. Excuse me. You know, places like Ohio, and the point is this: it's like people think different than you. Yeah, you may be worried about college debt, you may be worried about free healthcare and all that. There's some people who are just worried about surviving. You know, they're not worried about their health insurance plan because they may not even have one. They may not even want one. People think different than you. You're a minority. You guys are the minorities. The white Bernie supporters, got news for you guys, you ain't special. You guys sitting here on Secular Talk poking fun. Let's look at some of these comments. We're going to go through this again. Because we went through this when Roger Ailes died. We went through this with Pat Robertson multiple times. So let's look at some of these comments. Honestly, let's hope Pat Robertson is next. 93 likes, and I left a little response there too. Fingers crossed. Pat Robertson and Kenneth Copeland soon join them too. 151 likes. Just the people liking this. Let's look at these responses. Yeah, let's add some more people. Gay Spooderman and Jim Baker, 7 likes. I hope someone does an expose on Robertson and find out he had boyfriends. That'd be funny. That's kind of interesting. He's already dead and dusty. It's just up to him to remember that he died. Yeah, whatever. Nothing of value was lost. 91 likes. Finally, some good news. 47 likes. And the average IQ of the U.S. was raised by 1 point that day. 118 likes. Burnin' Hell Billy, 103 likes. You won't be missed, 45 likes. Flush his corpse down into the septic tank, 57 likes. AMF and Good Riddance, I don't know what that stands for. He, along with Jerry Falwell and Ronald Reagan, gave us the far-right politics we deal with today. At least he's got an explanation for his hatred, I'll give him that. But his explanation probably lost him about 71 likes. Good Riddance, I'll piss on his grave during his funeral. 1 down, 100 more to go. 43 likes. I rest my case. You wonder why Bernie Sanders lost? That's why. Right there, right there. That's why. That's why Bernie lost. There's a lot of people who won't give you the truth. They'll talk about the election was rigged. They'll talk about how the debates were on Saturday instead of Monday. Or whatever. Or they'll say, like, these polls in Arizona closed at 7 instead of 8. Or, you know, these just wacky conspiracy theories, like, rah-rah, you know, even some of them, like Debbie Sane Progressive, will talk about the voter fraud, even though these kinds of people will say voter fraud's impossible under any other circumstances. Um, but I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna bullshit you. This is why. Because it's not so much the policy, because if the left ran on the left, then they might win because there are a lot of popular policies on the left, and I will absolutely concede that I don't agree with over half of them. I agree with a few of them, but over half I don't agree with. But most people do, and I'm fine with that. I can go out, I can talk to a cashier, I can go to a library, talk to somebody, I can talk to somebody over the internet, I can go to debate.org and I can talk to somebody with polar opposite views of mine on any number of issues, on any issues. Even anti-market socialist people, it's like, okay, I want to see where you come from. I want to see what makes you tick. And this is the kind of thing, like, where they're not interested in that. Like, it's not, because most people, even on the left, like your rational average leftists, like, my aunt is a leftist, you know, and, we can have a little bit of a heated debate over whether or not Obama was a good president. But you know what? I'd still go over to her place at any time. I'd still, you know, I'd still love her as an aunt. And that's the thing. It's not the policy that people disagree with. What it is the character. They look at this. They look at how people on the left think. And this is the character deficit that they see. Because most rational people, they they believe what they do for different reasons, but they have good hearts and good intentions. The vast majority of people who want um, our healthcare to be more nationalized, they want it for good reasons. But they'll go on comments such as these. Fox News will expose some of them, or it just where there's just this massive character deficit, this massive disregard for other thoughts, for human life, for compromise. And it's just sad. And it comes from the lack of God in your heart. That's where this comes from. When you lack God in your life like this, what gets replaced with it is hatred. Hate has a way of eating you alive, and the only way you can cancel slowly being consumed is through a relationship with God. And the healthier that relationship is, the less that hate will exist. And, I'm not going to claim to be this super Christian person. I have a lot of problems with my relationship, and I won't deny that. But, you know, I have a relationship with God, and I'm willing to discuss that relationship unashamedly. And through that relationship, I'm able to have empathy I could not otherwise have. There's no empathy here. None, none, none. maybe if you fall in perfect line with these scumbags, these little rats, these spoiled children who persist in these comments, then maybe I lost track of what I was saying. It's like I was just gonna go through this video and do the whole thing, but it's like just I never read these comments before I did this video because I don't script things like a lot of people. So it's like I just figured I'd get the usual stuff. I saw the top comment. That's almost what motivated me to do this. It's just because it's like, here we go again with Roger Ailes. So it's like I decided, okay, let's make secular BS out of it. But this is worse than anything I saw when I did this a year ago with Roger Ailes. And with Pat Robertson, which the Pat Robertson one last year was what set me off. But the Roger Ailes, like, say, people saying good riddance, like, this guy has a family, and this guy has people who he's touched. Like, it doesn't matter who dies, it's always tragic. When Charles Manson dies, it will be tragic for some people. There is not a life in this world that is not valuable, because God puts us all here for a reason. We're not all good at following God's will, but God works through all of us whether or not we want Him to. And that's the thing. But anyhow, I think I've drug this out long enough. You guys in the comments, it's just, you're a bunch of sickos, and don't expect to ever win elections. I mean, don't expect it. Go back into your fucking loser-ass dorms with your Cheetos, take your college money, and when you get out of college, pay off your fucking debt. Because I'm not paying it. Okay? I'm not paying your debt. I'm not paying your hospital bill. I'm not paying for free this and free that. I'm not paying it. That's your job. Be accountable. Because when you say things like this, and this is another thing, is I mention this a lot, it's worth re-mentioning on here, is, there's this idea, collectivism, or the coded words for it, such as society, social contract. There's a lot of different ways you can word these things, and just, there's a lot of things you could say about it, but the biggest thing is, for collectivism to work, maybe I don't always have to agree with you, but I have to respect you. I have to believe that your intentions are pure, even if we don't agree to how we get to where we want to go. We have to be on the same frequency, especially the same moral frequency. I don't think we're on the same moral frequency here. There's no respect. And without respect, I don't want to pay for your free shit. So, screw your collectivist nonsense. You can pay for your own stuff, because I'm not paying for this. This in the comments. If you want to pay for your school, maybe get rid of your internet access. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Go to a library. Because you guys make me sick. Thanks for listening, and God bless for what it's worth.